The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the October 28th, the magnificent Monday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know that I am absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this, during this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. You can dial in at 877-927-6648. Now, if you've got a question and you can't call in, Stevie's got your back. You can send me an email and send that off to steve@tfnn.com. Inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Marvelous Monday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, we start with all the U.S. indices trading to the upside. You've got the Dow up 327, S&P's up 28, NASDAQ on 166, Russell 37, semis 22, Trendy's 182. You've got gold that is now flat. Silver's up 21 pennies. Light sweet crude up $3.78, a little over 5%. 9% move to the downside for natural gas. That's off 23 pennies. And the 30-year Treasury down 13 ticks, printing out at 117.28. Our leaders in the clubhouse to the upside, led by Procept Biorobotics, up $18 or 26%, followed by United Rentals at $14, a little less than 2%. MicroStrategy, $13. Comfort USA is up 11, and AAON is up about $10. That's nearly a 9% move. Our shakers to the downside, led by Molina Healthcare. It's a $9 move, 2.6%. Taiwan Semiconductors down $7, 3.5%. Northrop Grumman, $6, a little over 1%. Heiko Corp, about $6, 2%. Lockheed Martin is down $5, a little less than 1% to the downside. So we got movers and we've got shakers. Let's begin our day taking a look at where are we at since I was last with you, and look at that New York Stock Exchange Advanced Decline Oscillator. What we're going to see is we got below the minus 150 level. That is a oversold condition. So now that oversold condition needs to work its way off. I would say we at least get a rally for a couple of days, but we'll at least take a look at what's going on inside the futures areas and see what kind of signals we have there. So this is, it may just be a counter trend rally. It may be something more than that. More than that. Blasphemy, Stevie. Why could it be more than that? Well, if we just simply take a look at the seasonal pattern, we've already gotten into the Santa Claus rally phase of the market. Now, a lot of people don't take a look at the Santa Claus rally until Christmas has arrived. Stevie says, boy, you'd be missing the boat there. Here we can see that seasonally speaking, this is the S&P 500, over the course of the last 96 years, it bottoms right around the trading day of about October 26th. Now, not that we've had the markets really move lower, but we are in that favorable seasonal process that should take us higher into the end of the year. Now, somebody might say, hey, Stevie, there's an election next week. What does that tell us out there? Well, I don't really know, but if we do take a look at one of the cool tools on this Season X set of tools out here, is we can move and take a look at the U.S. election cycle out there. Are we in it? Well, if we were in it, well, as an example, this also bottoms right around the October 24th level, so last week out there. And this also suggests a rally into the end of the year. Now, it's not as steep of a rally, but it is a rally, and it just goes with what we took a look at over the traditional cycle. So we are in that favorable seasonal pattern. We still want to follow the signals that are out there, and we'll certainly take a look at those during today's show out there. If we take a look at the spot VIX index is trading above its 50-day exponential moving average. We'll get there here momentarily. Here we can see the spot VIX. Well, I'll just simply expand it out, and then we're all looking at the exact same thing. The spot VIX right now you can see is trading at 1929. That blue center line there, that's the 50-day exponential moving average, and that is at 1850. In order for the seasonal cycle and really to get the markets moving higher, yes, they're moving higher right now, but to really get moving higher, we need to see that spot VIX trade below, close below that 50-day exponential moving average out there. At least traditionally speaking, that's what we need to see. Is there anything else on this set of charts here to take a look at? We can go take a look at perigee lunar phase, see where we're trading there. The S-mini taking on that resistance level. Perigee came in at the price point of 58.7825, so that would certainly be a level to watch. The NQ, it's well past the perigee pivot point at 23.14. In the case of Goldilocks, it's way, where is Goldilocks? That's weird. There we go. Okay, so it's way down at the 26.92 level. Silver out here at 31.95, 31.98. We're well above that. Light sweet crude perigee is up at the 70.28 level. We gapped down below that, I presume, because of the strike that took place over the weekend out here. And we take a look at the U.S. dollar index on a 30-minute basis, just consolidating with inside its profile. Its perigee pivot point all the way down at 103.34. I don't think there's anything left really to take a look at. Well, let's take a look at the S&P 500 since we were really talking about it. Let's see how this has been trading in terms of other major currencies. So we've got not at a new all-time high today in terms of euros, but getting pretty close. We are at a new all-time today in terms of Swedish krona. We are in terms of Australian dollars. So what this is telling you, you know where the buyers are located. Those two in Australian and in the Swedish krona, those who trade in that currency or live in that currency area, they're buyers, most certainly. If you take a look at how it's traded inside of U.S. dollars, not a new all-time high yet. Maybe we've seen that, which took place several days ago back on the 17th of October. Not a new all-time high in terms of yen, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, and the yuan either. But we've really just been consolidating sideways in these currencies out there. How are we doing the S&P 500 in those Middle Eastern currency pairs? The Iranian rial, we're at new all-time highs today there. And really, that's about it. We were close to new all-time high this morning in the Israeli shekel out there. So that's what's going on with regard to these charts. Actually, let me just take a quick peek at gold with you. What's gold doing in the major currencies? Close to a new all-time high, but we're not there. That new all-time high in terms of dollars on October 23rd. October 23rd, also in terms of euros. The yen is at a new all-time high today, so we got buyers there. Canadian loonie, very close. We are in the Swedish krona. Swiss franc is very close to an all-time high today. Australian dollars, we are trading to all-time high today. If we take a look at the Middle Eastern currencies, again, the rial in Iran. And that's about it there. So I was just kind of buying some time because I knew we were coming into the break here. And we come back from this break. Let's start taking a look at some of the requests that have come in. Those will be XPEV, K-Web, the TLT, Gush, the GDX, and Hood, and maybe a few more. I see XBI as well. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years, with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. Let's take a look at our first request out here coming in from GTE. Wants to take a look at XPEV out here. So XPEV has formed a buy the D point pattern on Friday. You got a nice little bull sash candle out there. We are trading with inside its profile. And right now, price is taking on the sell zone. The sell zone is between 1224 and 1286. The price can close about 1286. Its next resistance point will be 1317. And then the final resistance point on the daily time frame would be a CD9 count top, and price would need to close above 1367. Those are your resistance levels to the upside. On a weekly time frame chart, we're trading above profile and its oscillator and change line, so that's not going to get in the way of a rally. On the monthly time frame chart, we're trading above profile resistance, so that is not about to get in the way of the rally. So we should you're just trading into the area where there's turbulence, because that sell zone out there, that's what's going on with regard to XPEV. The second request was to take a look at KWEB. This is also from GTE. If we take a look at it, what is it doing? It's got a nice TD9 count bottom. That went ahead and confirmed on October the 18th. Price is traded with inside a fairly large, relatively balanced profile. The next price target should be the center line at the 3380 level. It's also the oscillator and change line. If price can close above the 3380-ish level, you should see a move to 3549. That's its TD9 count breakdown level. If price can close above that, the next battle would be up at 3870, and then the battle above that would be at the price point of 3917. If we take a look at the weekly time frame chart out here, it looks to me like maybe, we pull this back further, you had a sell the D point pattern, which you did. Now price here, typically you pull back the oscillator and change line. It's been pretty close to doing that. You've got a price trading with inside its weekly profile. Now this has got a bullish structured profile, and that says that on a weekly basis, if price were to close above 33.37, then odds favor a move up to the top of that profile all the way back to that 39.17 area. Monthly chart, trade above profile resistance out there, and that suggests that the rally should continue. So you got a nice daily bottom. Watch what happens at that 33.80 level. If you close above that, you've got your next area of resistance. That's KWEB. Dan from New York City I had a nice weekend in New York. Great, really amazing weather, although it seemed pretty cold, for a southern boy out here, so to speak. Been in Florida for 40 years plus now. When I see something that says it's going to be in the 50s and 60s, that's when I pull out the parka. I didn't pull out the parka this time. What a beautiful weekend in New York City. Always great to be back to that city. Dan wants to take a look at the TLT. So, Dan, what we're going to first do here before we switch over to the TLT is take a look at the 30-year Treasury. Now, 30-year Treasury 2 days ago went ahead and confirmed a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom pattern. It did that when it formed this bullish engulfing bull sash candle. But what happened on the following day is price rallied right up into that red oscillator and change line. We can see the 30-year Treasury has been below the oscillator and change line since September 17th. We're at the end of October out there. So the first thing that tells us, Dan, is that if price closes above that oscillator and change line for 2 consecutive sessions out there, that's going to give you a profile change in trend signal. Otherwise, that red line right now is at the price point of about 118.30, 118.29 is where it's sitting at. And as long as price does not close below the low of October 23rd. See, this was a bullish engulfing candle. That sets up that support level as the low of the pattern out there. And that low of the trading day on October 23rd was 117.25. So you should at least get a rally. Price closes below that. It negates that signal and says we head lower out there. And that's a possibility because we're certainly trading below that red oscillator and change line as well as the bottom of its profile. Now let's go change over on the I don't have enough data on the weekly or the monthly to give you any kind of real significant piece of information there. So let's go see what the TLT is communicating to us. But you really want to understand the underlying instrument. That's what we just did there. In the case of the TLT, if we were looking at this, we do not have a bullish reversal candle to confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. What we do have, though, Dan, is we can see that its oscillator and change line, price has been below it since the trading day of September 18th, is also a key resistance level. So if you ever get into this trade, what you do know is you want to see 2 consecutive closes above that. You still may have other resistance, but at least that would be giving you a signal of a change in trend out there. So follow the 30-year Treasury for your signals inside the TLT. Watch that oscillator and change line. If you're not familiar with what that is, just simply go subscribe to Mastering Probability. It can do it basically for 30 days for free out there. And you get that workshop as well as many others out here, at least with regard to the tools that I'm sharing with you. So that's what's going on with the TLT. Dan, and thanks for providing all that great weather in your beautiful city. I did go ahead. I did a couple things that I have not done on all my trips there. One of those was going to the Statue of Liberty. That was very cool. Didn't really care for all the steps up there, but a little bit of exercise doesn't hurt anyone. But what was really cool about the trip is we went over to what's the island? Ellis Island out there. And not only do we just go there, they do offer these tours, kind of a private-ish type tour, I suppose. It's called the Hard Hat Tour. And I'm so glad that we did that. It was one of the coolest tours, and you really understand how immigration was handled back in those days. I won't comment on that because there's too much controversy out there, but boy, did they have a system that worked. And what I didn't know really anything too much about it. I was able to find one set of relatives that came through there. I was curious why I couldn't find the others because I know they came through that area. And so the interesting thing with regard to immigration, as people were coming over in the boats, those people that were in the first and second class section of the boats, they had doctors come on board. If you didn't have any health issues that they could identify or detect out there, you bypassed Ellis Island. You had the manifest. So the manifests are in the digital form, and you can look those things up. At that stage, we were pretty exhausted. And since I'd already found one relative on the wall, we just kind of kept going out there. But so at one point in time, last thing that I'll mention about that, I did not know. Maybe you already know this. At that point in time, that was the facilities, the hospital facilities that they had there, just extraordinary. And they had the best hospital in the entire world on Ellis Island. It's gotten kind of they've really let that thing go, which is too bad out there. I know they're trying to preserve it as much as they can, but they've really just let that go out there. Anyways, let's move on to our next request, which was to take a look at Gush out here. Now, Gush is I believe it's a 2 or 3x ETF for the S&P oil and gas production. The 1x would be XOP. So I want to just take a look at that. I'll switch over. We'll go ahead and take a look at Gush out here. What we do see about the XOP is today we are trading below the bottom of its profile, 133.29. That's the daily time frame. I don't see any bottom out here. We are in wave number 4. That's letter D to the downside. Now, if that gets confirmed, in order to get confirmed, you need a higher low out there. As Basil says, maybe something else is going to happen. It could be a rally up to resistance, which would be between 133.29 and 134.17. But D can extend itself. It can extend itself as it goes to target its swing point from September the 11th out there. That swing point ranges at the high of 127.46 and at the low down at the 124.12 level out there. On a weekly time frame, I don't see a whole lot out here other than we're trading below profile support as well as its oscillator and change line, a consolidation on a monthly time frame. Now, I'll put up the Gush charts out here, but we're going to go to break here. The music is going to start playing right now, as a matter of fact. And so we come back from the breakout here. We'll take a look at Gush, but I see it's also trading below the bottom of its daily profile, 28.70. But we'll be right back to take a look at this.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly gold report every Monday morning for subscribers, consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
The consistency you're looking for is closer than you think. 1 or 2 adjustments are usually all you need to change your equity curve from red to green and keep it there. Come join Larry Pesavento live to learn what separates the winners from the losers. Join Larry Pesavento on the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, where Larry will show you the market setting up and, most important of all, the state of mind of a winning trader. By watching Larry trade, you'll learn the Fibonacci levels, you'll learn how to apply A to B to C to D trading patterns, you'll learn trade management, pattern recognition, and much more. Join Larry October 11th and 25th for more live trading action. Your purchase goes towards 2 sessions, so make sure to sign up now so you don't miss a chance to sit next to Larry as he trades the market live. For all information and to reserve your spot today, go to the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Trader's Edge is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. We got the charts for the GUSH8 Gush on the screen out here. Again, that is the 2X, I believe, of the S&P oil and gas and production area, exploration area out there. So if Gush closes below the swing point here from a few days ago, October 23rd, the low of that swing point is 28.12. If Gush closes below that, then what we're looking at is we're looking at an A to B equals C dependent downside. In fact, it's very likely it'll be a confirmed one. Why? Because that swing point from October 23rd did volume of 711,000 shares. Already this morning, we are at 654,000 shares. So it's got the volume. Now, that A to B and C to D would get us all the way back to that TD9 count. Rhodes momentum indicator bottom, that swing point of September 11th. The one would actually come in at 24.98 if we get that close below the 28.12 level out there, and the actual swing point low, let's see if I can pull that up on my screen out here, is at the 25.08. So 25.08, 24.98. If you close below that swing point, that is a likely target inside of Gush. So hope that helps you out, Piper, and thanks for the request out there. ELO wants to take a look at the GDX. Let's move over to those sets of charts out here, and we take a look at them. So we know the GDX had a TD9 count top. It actually formed on bar number 9. That formed on October 22nd, and then price formed a new profile the following day, and price closed below it, a big move lower. That was on Thursday of last week on the 24th, and that was a close below the bottom of its daily profile. So a profile change in trend. Also as a close below screen oscillator and change line, telling us that it's lost its momentum. Now, when we look at the weekly time frame chart, in ELO, that's really the time frame right now to be watching for a further signal out there. You do not have a top. What you do have here is price pulling back to test that green oscillator and change line. As long as price remains above 41.27, or I should say closes above 41.27 on a weekly time frame, it's possible after a 3-day decline that you do have a bottom out here without any kind of signal on the daily time frame. Now, I caution because this could just be a 1 or 2 day counter trend rally. Of course, today could be a lower close as well out there. In fact, why don't we take a look at the lower closes and so forth. Let's pull this chart over here. Since we've got it, you can see that on as of Friday, we were 3 bars to the downside. Last time we had a move out here was 6 bars to the downside. Kind of unusual to then see a nice rally perform. After that, typically your knee-jerk reaction lows are after 2 or 3 bars, maybe a 4-bar move to the downside. So it is signaling that we could, at least on that, from that standpoint, get some type of at least rally or counter trend rally. But what I would be watching out here, the GDX, because if the 41. Right now it's at 41.26. If that level fails out there, we're likely to see a move lower. And I would say that move lower on the daily time frame, it opens up the door for 38.77. On the weekly time frame, it'd be between 38.14 to 38.75 out there. So that's what I'd be watching is, and you do not have a topping signal on the monthly just yet. You are going to form bar number 8 at the end of this month, but that means that maybe you only get that could be the top, or it could be the following 2 months out there, taking us into the end of or sometime in December out there. So that's what I see ELO when I take a look at the GDX out there. Hope that helps you out. Zip would like to take a look at HOOD out here. Hood. We take a look at Robinhood. What do we know? We know that price negated a Rhodes momentum indicator top. That was, let me get my cursor out here, on a trading session of October 22nd. We're trading above profile. We're trading above its OUL resistance level. Looks like it wants to rally. Now, that rally is likely to end sometime this week. Why is that, Stevie? Well, because Hood is going to go ahead and complete a TD9 count top for its weekly time frame. And I would then suggest a pullback to 25.63. However, the monthly chart is saying hold your horses. Not so fast, Stevie. Why don't you tell them what's going on in the monthly time frame for Robinhood? Well, it turns out that Robinhood is going to go ahead, likely, unless we can see some major pullback out here, and that major pullback would require a close at month's end below 24.88. Unless that happens, you're going to negate a TD 9-count top out there. And that says that longer term, Robinhood should continue to move higher. So we've got to watch the weekly time frame chart. Next week is really important inside of Hood because you could either, this week it's going to complete the pattern, and you could negate it next week out there, which is what the monthly is hinting at. And the daily too. The daily is in a bullish mode as we speak right now. You're in bullish breakout mode on the daily. Same thing on the weekly, and the same thing on the monthly time frame chart. So those are what the daily, weekly, and monthly charts are telling you and I about Robinhood, HOOD, being the ticker symbol. Dan inside the Tigers Den wants to take a look at XBI. So we take a look at XBI, which is the, what is that? That is the S&P Biotech ETF. What do we see out here? Let's start with the monthly time frame chart. Monthly time frame chart, Dan, shows that price closed above the top of its bearish structured monthly profile in July of 2024, in August of 2024, in September of 2024. It looks like October is going to do the same. Now, we really haven't done much out here, but if price were to close above on a monthly time frame, the high of February 2024 out there, that high being 103.52, that will then trigger an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. Now, I don't know where that would take us to. I'm not drawing that in there, but towards the 141.50 level over time, that is its monthly TD 9-count breakdown area. On a weekly time frame, we've got a TD 9-count 8 pattern, TD 9-count pattern out here. The high formed on bar number 8. Stevie's just a little tired. There was, as they say that New York is a city you don't sleep in. And we pretty much did everything we could. I was up there for a wedding, a gorgeous wedding. I mean, the most beautiful wedding I've ever attended, by far. First, the ceremony was at St. Patrick's Cathedral, so you can't beat that. I mean, that was extraordinary unto itself. And then the parties, well, those were just simply amazing. In any event, you've got a TD 9-count top out here. That formed on July 26th in a consolidation with inside its profile. So the buy zone here on a weekly time frame between 90.13 and 93.01, and resistance up at the 103.08 level. Finally, we get to the daily time frame. What do we see out here? We take a look at the XBI, the S&P Biotech ETF out here. What I see is that price right now today is trying to close above the top of its daily profile. That'd be at 98.42. If you close above this today and tomorrow, well, price is certainly going to run, or should run, at least for its swing point high area, recent swing point high area. That is at 100.54. Maybe was it just a tad higher? 100.56. A close above that would then set up a daily A to B equals CD pattern that would take us up towards its recent highs out here. That most recent high on September 19th, up at the 103.52 level. So, Dano, I hope that helps you out with regard to XBI. That's its daily, its weekly, and its monthly time frame message out there. Now, Dan is also suggesting that, hey, maybe the route to the downside is over out there. If we take a look at its consecutive moves higher and lower out here, we had a 4-bar move to the upside. Then we just had a little stair step to the downside out here. So got potential. That's the daily time frame. Let's just see what this same tool shows us for the weekly time frame. So what have we been doing longer term out here? Weekly time frame last week was just simply, Dan, so when we look at the weekly time frame, get rid of a lot of the noise out here. Take a look at all the pullbacks since the bottom that came in back in April. They've got all been 2 bars to the downside out here. So yeah, that's signaling this could be a bull market that is starting inside of XBI. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got a couple more requests that are in the queue. We've got time for more, so if you would like me to review your instrument, you can send me an email, steve@tfnn.com, but you got to send it quick, and hopefully the ISPs get it to me. Of course, inside the Tiger's Den, you're doing great. We could probably use a few more requests out there. InnoVisual inside the Tiger's Den wants to take a look at the QQQs. He's asking about, how are they performing during the election cycle out there? I don't know, but we'll take it. Well, first, with regard to the election that's upcoming out here. Maybe what I'll do today during the segment that I will do during the Tom O'Brien show around 3:15. I'll see if I can find a time in order to go through the kind of the election cycle, if you will. And what I mean by that is not just, and this is what the NASDAQ, by the way, I put the NASDAQ up, because I've got more data than I do on the QQ ETF, just in case I didn't totally interpret your question correctly out here. That's a chart that is up on the screen. That red vertical line is where we're at. You see, there's only 10 touch points out here that we really have with regard to the election cycle. So not really a ton, a decent amount, but that's what's on our chart right now. And that election cycle for the Qs even suggests that we bottomed, right around last week, and that we rally into basically election day, November 5th. What is election day? Is it November 5th or what? I'm going to go vote tomorrow, get that out of the way. Not that we really have long lines in our precinct, but just simply get it out of the way, if you will. So this suggests that we rally up into at least next week. Then we move lower, typically into November 20th, and then November 20th during the election cycle is when the NASDAQ 100 reestablishes its a Christmas seasonal cycle pattern out there. So I don't know if that's what you were looking for, but again, not a ton of touch points out here. You can see if we put up the QQQs, I believe that only has about. I got to wait for it to pull up here. Sorry about that. I did it wrong, incorrectly out there. So here we have a total of 25 years versus 36 out there. Now, here we don't have the election cycle, and inside the Qs, this suggests that we typically bottom the beginning of October and then rally on basically into the end of the year. Now, that's not the seasonal cycle out here. I'm sorry, that's the seasonal cycle, not the presidential seasonal cycle. But what I can try to do is I can go through the different indices and, the typical election seasonal cycle, but then how about the year after? post-election, right? What typically takes place then. And all we can do is take a look at I can take a look at I've got to do it manually, but the post-election cycle, whether it's a Democrat or it's a Republican that wins out there. So I'll try to get that for this evening. If not, maybe for the Tom O'Brien show. And if I can't do that, we can also review that tomorrow during the Trader's Edge show out there. So that's what's really going on with regard to the NASDAQ and the Qs out here. Now, we can see inside from a seasonal cycle pattern. We take a look at the Qs out here. What you've really got is significant resistance where the TD9 count top that formed back in July. And that's really where price is trading into, basically trading towards is that swing point. Now that's trading into it. That swing point on the Qs has volume of 28 million shares. And we take a look at what took place on Friday. We moved into it with 38 million shares. So when you move into a swing point, even if you reject it, it tells you that you're going to be back up there. And that's what's taking place as we speak right now. If price can close above that, because I believe the A to B equals CD pattern inside the Qs as well above that, let's go ahead and draw that in. As a matter of fact out here, let's get the A to B line, and then we can just simply move that over to the C point out here. So here's our A to B. And if we move this over, moment here to the C point, you'll see that would tell us we get to a new all-time high with price taking us towards the let's call it 510 at this point here. That's not the exact number, but that's close enough for our work. Now we take a look at the weekly time frame chart. It's also trading into its weekly TD9 count top swing point. That TD9 count top swing point has volume there of 162 million shares. We got into it with that first 124 million shares, followed by 136. Now, 136 was going into 162, still not enough. And then last week you moved into it with 157. So you do have increasing volume. We're trading above the green oscillator and change line. You're trading above profile resistance. What this suggests to you and I, visual, is that high should be tested. Whether it completes the A to B equals CD and takes out that TD9 count, breakdown resistance level, I don't know. But it does suggest at least that 503.52 level should be tested out here. And finally, on the monthly time frame, you had a TD9 count top that formed out here in July. Price pulled back and tested support. Really tested the level of support it tests is where a counter trend move would end. That was the center of that bearish structured profile. Now we're trading above its green oscillator and change on a monthly basis. We're moving to that swing point that has volume of 801 million shares with 548. So you're coming in light. Still, though, that high should be tested again. That is at the 503.52. So that's everything that I've got for you with regard to the Qs. Hope that helped answer your question. As always, thank you for your request. The next request coming in is from Bob in Spokane. Bob wants to take a look at ticker symbol NLR. Let's move over to those set of charts out here. NLR seems to me like a new symbol that we're going to take a look at. That is the Van Eck Uranium and Nuclear ETF out there. So we look at this instrument. We do see a wave number 7 top out there. That's courtesy of part of Basil Chapman's tools out there, but it's such a small part. You really want to go ahead and sign up for his workshops or his newsletters. And if we take a look at support out here, 92.49, that's its support level. So you got a consolidation that's taken place after a wave number 7 top out there. So support is held. Now you just have a consolidation. The next level of resistances are, not that that is a word, is at 94.45. That's its oscillator and change line above price. That's one resistance level. Above that, 95.19. Above that, 97.89. Those are your battles as price continues to move higher, likely to do so since it held support. On the weekly time frame, I don't see any kind of a top in place out there. It was just a daily that was driving that move down, which tested and held support. And the monthly time frame looks very good as well. NLR, the Van Eck Uranium and Nuclear ETF out there. So Bob and Spokane, I think it was just a general review that you were looking for. And, yeah, it looks like a move higher out there. Let me just check the phone lines, the email lines, that is, and see if I've received any requests out there. And the answer is I have received one. It was to take a look at EEM, the emerging markets out there. So how have the emerging markets been doing with that U.S. dollar index rally out there? Typically, that is a negative thing for the emerging markets. Let's go find out if it is. Now, we know that the U.S. dollar does have a TD9 count top with price trading with inside its profile. If we don't know that, I know that. I shared that, I think, with folks during the, I know I did, during the 11 a.m. update out here. So we take a look at the emerging markets out here. It's got a wave number 7. We've got a Rhodes momentum indicator top. Prices trading below profile support. So level to be watching here because we've been below for 2 consecutive days. If there is a rally, the rally, and it's just a counter trend move out here, where price would find resistance between the level of 45.35 and 45.62. Only a close above 45.62 will then suggest something else. On a weekly time frame, you have a Rhodes momentum indicator top. About 4 weeks ago, you had a key reversal bar that confirmed that pattern. What price is doing right now, it closed on Friday just below its oscillator and change line. Right now, we're trying to find out if it can get back inside that. If it can't, that would suggest a further move lower. You have a TD9 count monthly top that's in place out there. That would require a close above the level of 46.95 on a monthly time frame to negate that signal. So you've got a top on the monthly time frame without price having tested support. Your support areas are 41.76 to 42.79. And that is the Emerging Markets ETF, EEM. We'll be right back.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly gold report every Monday morning for subscribers, consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. We're looking at a little rocket ship on my screen right now. This is ticker symbol OKLO. That's also the name of the company. Don't know what they do, but what they are doing is they're heading to the moon out there. And we've got a question to review this. And the question is, with something that has run like this, first, what do we see out here? And then the second is, is there anything that we see that suggests that maybe we should lighten up on this trade, maybe just simply take out your principal and let everything run? And so I don't know anything fundamentally about this. But if you take a look at this monthly bar out there, it's about as wide as you get. You're trading above all resistance out there, so that suggests a further move higher. The monthly chart suggests a further move higher. You're only bar number 7 as we speak right now. And the daily chart would negate a sell the D point top out here. That sell the D point top came on the trading day of October 22nd. A little dark cloud cover formed, and then the following day a profile formed. Price tested, actually closed below the bottom of that profile, suggesting that price would get down and test its oscillator and change line, which basically it has done. It hasn't actually touched it, didn't touch it truly on Friday, but close enough for our work out there. And so you're going to negate looks like you will negate that Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, as well as close above profile resistance. So there's no tops out here. That doesn't mean that it can't move lower all of a sudden. Anything can happen. We can't control that. But the message from the daily, weekly, and monthly are that there's no top that's in place. That top looks like it's going to be negated today. That was from the daily time frame. But look, it's never a bad reason and if you think this, because you got into this ticker symbol out here, if you've got a real long-term viewpoint on it, there's nothing wrong from a portfolio of taking some or all of your principal and letting the rest of it run out there. But the stock charts, hopefully those help you out with regard to this, wants to at least appears to move higher out there. If we take a look at ticker symbol INMB, what a heck of a day this is having. It's traded above and taking out TD9 count breakdown resistance. That was at 569. You're trading above the top of its weekly profile. That suggests a move up towards the $8 area, $8 to $8.99, $8.18 or so. What looks to me like that would become its next price target. Not much else for me to take a look at there. Let's take a real quick, see if I can do this in about 5-10 seconds out here. LTBR rallying into its TD9 count top. If you get a close above 978, that would be very bullish and would continue its move northward. Holy cow, look at that monthly chart out here. It's traded right into resistance, and that's at TD9 count breakdown level at 960. Folks, have a magical Monday. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Terrific Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Take care.